Hey, what's up everyone? I hope you're all doing great. Got a quick little update for you on this wonderful fall, cool season, winter vegetable garden. I'm so proud of all the work that my students have been doing this week. It's been fantastic to see the transformation. If you want to see that, maybe perhaps look back in a prior video or two because you might just see something you might like. But today I'm going to show you all the finished work that we've done on this. The last thing we need to do now is actually just reinstall the irrigation, put those drip tubes back in place, so that way even though it's winter, we are going to get some rains. Sometimes here in Northern California where we're at, we might have a lot of rain and then 2 3 weeks, 4 weeks even in the winter of dry, and then some rain again. So we'll prepare for a winter that might be rainy but might also be dry. So we'll set up our drip tube with some drip tape, which is this wonderful drip tubing that basically deflates flat without water and then reinflates and has holes already in them, emitters kind of built into the pipe that just open up and will drip out the water when we need it. So I want to show you how we finished this off. We kind of went overboard a little bit. You don't have to do your vegetable garden this way, but if you have the time, space, money, and the ability, and you want that special look, you can do it just like us if you want to. Although you can also do it a million other ways. Right here, I'm going to show you some micro bark that we utilized. We had a bit extra from a previous project, so we started using it, and then when we finished up, I was like, we might as well just do all the beds. So I'm going to show you a close-up of how everything looks, and I'll give you a description of what we actually did to ensure that our plants, our vegetables, are actually going to thrive and have a great season of growth, because you don't want the insects, the slugs, snails, the caterpillars to come in and kind of get at these seedlings. We don't want that, and so there's some things that we did to try to minimize that damage. Let's take a look. All right, so let's take a look at what we've done here. You can see we've got our rows set up here. We've got some beautiful pansies kind of bordered in and around some of our vegetables, and yeah, they're going to kind of grow into each other a little bit, but what's nice is the broccoli that we have, the cauliflower, the cabbage, all that, it's going to grow pretty quickly and aggressively once it gets established. And so it'll just kind of take over eventually. But what's nice is having these borders kind of marked by these wonderful little pansies. We've got a mixture of different colors. You can see how beautiful these pansies are. I mean, absolutely gorgeous mixtures of yellows and blues and whites, purple even. So it's gorgeous. But you can see what we've done here. And like I said, you don't have to add this mulch, this micro bark, to your garden beds. We did here. We've had a lot of issues with weeds in the past, although we're not really using this too much to suppress the weeds, because usually out in our landscape, I'll recommend 3 to 4 inches thick. Here it's just a seasonal little thin layer, mostly cosmetic, where it's going to look really nice, but it's actually also will suppress some of the weeds, so these winter weeds from blowing in and getting rooted quite as it'll slow them down just a little bit. It's not a silver bullet or anything, but it'll help. It also helps with soil compaction from heavy rains, soil erosion. It looks really nice. And so for us, it'll also decompose a little bit. I wouldn't recommend adding, thick chunks of bark to your garden like this, because you just don't want to have that mixed into your soil. Now with this, the pieces are so small that if we have to, at the end of the season, heading into spring, summer, we could probably just dig it up and just, mulch it in, or I'm sorry, just cultivate it into the soil and let it break down with the compost and with the garden bed. And it shouldn't suck up too much nitrogen. The thing is, if you have a lot of wood chips in your soil, especially big chunks and ones that take a long time to break down, as they're decomposing, they can kind of temporarily rob your plants of available nitrogen. And so a lot of folks don't like doing that. So with us, we used a really thin layer, a really small micro bark that will break down fairly quickly if we do leave it in the soil. But if we want to, we could actually rake some of this up and then throw it in the compost, and to give it a further opportunity to break down. But here in this case, like I said, it's going to slow the weeds down. It'll protect the soil in a number of ways. Actually, it also reduces how much water that we're actually going to have to add to these plants, just by insulating the soil a little bit. Even though it's not hot summer, sometimes we get some pretty good sunny days even in this fall winter time. And so we utilize it. Here you go. And we didn't bury it too much up around the plant, just near the plant. And like for me with the students, it's great, because then it shows them where they can step. They know right here to step in the furrows, the low spots. We really don't want them stepping on top of these hills, these plateaus where we're growing on, because that'll compact that soil, and we don't want that. We want it nice and loose and fresh and undisturbed and not compacted. And so that's what we did here. You can see lots of pansies. We've got spinach, cauliflower, broccoli, and many types of cool season crops that we love. I think we have 3 types of spinach, maybe 3 or 4 types of broccoli. We have Copenhagen, I believe, cabbage, and some cauliflower as well. I think we have 3 varieties of cauliflower. One that buds up white, one that buds up yellow, and one that buds up like a royal deep purple. So we should have some colorful and some nutritious fruit. But I just want to show you what the final result was of our planting. So we'll have to come back and check in on these to see how they actually do. Will they make it to harvest? Some things that we did out here to ensure that they don't get eaten by bugs. We've added Sluggo, and recently we've had the students, we've been noticing the little white moths flying around, and this is the time of year they start landing on your plants, and these little moths will lay an egg on the leaf, the egg will hatch, little green caterpillar comes out and it just starts nibbling on all your leaves. So we've sprayed it with some BT, which is an organic spray. It's a bacterium that is basically a caterpillar killer. If they eat a leaf that has been sprayed with the BT, the Bacillus thuringiensis, then those caterpillars, their gut, they can't digest it, and they get sick and then they die. And so it's a shame to try to, I don't like harming caterpillars, but we definitely want to be able to have a nice healthy crop of plants for the students to enjoy, to take home, to utilize in the kitchen here at the school. But I just want to show off how beautiful this looked. I don't know, maybe call me crazy, but I just think that they did a wonderful job. And like I said, I'm so proud of my students' hard work out here. Now it's time, you can see all the irrigation tubes, it's time to get them reestablished and put back in, just in case, because we will get some days where we're not getting enough rain, so we'll have to add some water with our irrigation system. But that about does it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, came back for some more garden adventures. Until then, garden friends, happy gardening, best wishes to you, and please never ever stop growing.